I'm just going to acknowledge some members in the gallery, if you'd like to take your seat first. Thank you. Members, I'd like to acknowledge some former members of Parliament who are in the gallery this evening. Members, I'd like to acknowledge the Honourable Michelle Roberts, former Speaker and first female Speaker of the House. I'd like to acknowledge Nick Catania, former member for Balcatta. I'd like to acknowledge Vince Catania, former member for the North West Central. And also acknowledge Simon Millman, former member for Mount Lawley. Member for Midland.
Acting Speaker.
I give the call to Member for Midland.
I begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. The land encompassing the electorate of Midland has been a place of gathering, learning and care for tens of thousands of years. I honour the continuing connection to country, and I reaffirm my commitment to walking alongside First Nations people in the spirit of truth, justice and genuine reconciliation. We come together in this House not as victors but as achievers. To the people of Midland, thank you. It is the honour of my life to stand here today as your representative. I know trust like this isn't gifted, it's earned, brick by brick, through hard work, open ears, and the quiet understanding that every conversation, every concern, every hope you share with me is a responsibility I now carry. And I will carry it with everything I have. To my family, my ever-steady foundation, thank you. Public life isn't a solo sport. It doesn't happen in a vacuum, it takes a team. Thank you, Mum and Dad, my sister Angela and her husband James, my brother Vince and his wife Danny, my youngest brother Mark and his wife Sandra, my in-laws Mario and Diane Pratico, Mika and Simone Georgi, Sevi and Layla Pratico, and all my extended family and friends. To Hugo, Allegra and my little girl Maximilia, I love you. To my wife Jana, my compass, my co-conspirator, my clearest voice of reason, Jana is a pharmacist, an amazing business person and someone I admire. Jana has the rare gift of cutting through political noise like a surgeon, calm, focused and devastatingly honest. She's been known to call out a bad idea, a bad attitude, and yes, with brutal efficiency, a bad haircut. And believe me, there have been a few. She reminds me every day that humility and a sense of humour aren't just survival skills in this business, they're essentials. Her honesty, her love and her belief in me are a constant source of strength. To our local Labor branch members, union members, our volunteers, the late night coffee drinkers, the early morning letterboxers, this victory is yours too. You walked the streets, you believed in something bigger than yourselves. You brought heart and shoot leather to a campaign that mattered. To Michelle Roberts, a trailblazer who made history, and just as importantly, made a difference. I've known Michelle all my life. Michelle showed the strength and compassion don't just coexist, they thrive together. Thank you, Michelle and Greg, for your service and your example. I stand on the foundation you built, and I will work every day to honour it. I'm deeply grateful to all my parliamentary colleagues, but particularly those that have provided ongoing advice and support along the way. To Premier Roger Cook, thank you for your strength, leadership and commitment to Labor values. To Deputy Premier Rita Saffioti for your vision and tenacity. To Minister Matthew Swinburne, a dear friend, your dedication to working people is a constant source of inspiration to me. To Minister David Michael, my good mate, thank you for always looking out for me and providing guidance on the pathway forward. To Ministers John Carey, Amber Jade Sanderson, Tony Booty, Paul Papalia and Hannah Beasley, thank you. To my brother from another Italian mother, the member for Mount Lawley, Frank Paolino. To the member for Darling Range, Hugh Jones, our Speaker and member for Forestfield, Stephen Price, Clacy Hurst and Andrew O'Donnell. You all remind me every day of what leadership looks like, that it's all about outcomes, not ego. I also acknowledge Mick Buchan, Ben Harris, Brad Gandy, Tim Dawson, Steve McCartney, Carolyn Smith and their unions. I and the many thousands of people you represent are grateful for your dedication to the struggle. Along with Alex Illich, Simon Millman, John Little, Harrison Swinburne, James Donnelly, Rob Mitchell, Harry Singh, Amandeep Singh, Kivraj Singh, Ellie Whittaker and Lauren Kayoon and all the WA Labor Party office for your ongoing support. Finally, I acknowledge my incredible campaign team, my good friends, Campaign Director Linda O'Sharlam and Manager Simon Stokes, Emily Bailey, Di and Jeff Welsh, Steve and Jean Wainwright and Declan O'Hanlon. We were a ragtag bunch and we got the job done. Acting Speaker, public life runs in my family. In 1952, a 6-year-old boy stepped off a boat in Fremantle, fresh from Sicily and war-torn Europe. He couldn't have known what lay ahead. That boy was Nick Catania, my father. He became the first Italian-born member of the Legislative Assembly in Western Australia, and later, for many years, the Mayor of Vincent. A man of conviction, tough when necessary, generous when it counts, and armed with the wit sharp enough to slice through stubbornness or tension. He taught me leadership isn't about winning arguments or chasing applause. It's about showing up when it matters, especially when no one's watching. Recently, he was honoured with an Order of Australia Medal and a knighthood from the Italian government. Our family's pride isn't just in the accolades, it's in the life that they represent. A life spent answering the call of community and of service. My mother Rita, a quiet force who made our house a home, taught me that true strength can be often soft-spoken. That real power isn't always behind a microphone. It's in the daily, invisible acts of resilience, grace and love. I will always be indebted to her. My grandfathers Vincenzo Catania and Vitaliano Tonis, a stonemason and a grano worker, built lives out of sweat and calloused hands. My grandmothers Angelina Catania and Vanda Tonis built homes out of patience, tradition and an endless capacity for care. They didn't have a formal education, but they understood its value. And they worked so their children could have it. That legacy shaped me. It made me fall in love with history, not just as a dusty record of dates, but as a living story of justice, struggle and hope. History has taught me that democracy isn't guaranteed. It isn't impregnable. Today, even in places we thought immune, democracy is under attack. But let me say this clearly. The ultimate power lies with the people, and we are their servants. I learned early that fairness isn't handed to you, you fight for it. You build it slowly, imperfectly, and relentlessly. I also learned that character isn't revealed when things are easy, it's revealed when they are hard. I remember being a kid when my father narrowly lost his seat in the 1996 state election. Our house that night wasn't filled with anger or sadness, it was filled with quiet. The kind of quiet where resilience is born. I learned that service isn't about personal victory, it's about giving your best, even when the outcome isn't yours to control. Outside work, and now public life, I've had two great passions, AFL and motorsport. Unlike the member for Lansdale, I've resurrected my football career, and just last Wednesday I got the opportunity to lace up my boots to train for the first time for my local footy team, the Eastern Hills Cats, who play in the Masters competition. I'm still incredibly sore. I can confirm, however, I will not be taking up motor racing, even though, interestingly, Caversham Raceway, just out of the electorate, used to host the Australian Grand Prix. But whether it's on the footy field or the racetrack or in this chamber, some things don't change. You back your team, put in the hard yards, leave the place better than you found it, even if you need an ice pack afterwards. Public service runs in my family. My sister Angela is a long-time public service, is currently a director of the Department of Planning and Lands and Heritage and a recipient of the Public Service Medal. My brother Vince served in this chamber too. Politics around our dinner table wasn't about power, it wasn't abstract, it was about people, about responsibility and about community. 3 members of parliament from one family, it's rare. But for me, it's not a legacy to coast on. It's a standard to live up to. I didn't choose public life because it was easy or because it was expected. I chose it because politics at its best can be a force for good, because justice isn't a luxury, it's a right. That belief led me to the law, to fighting for workers, standing shoulder to shoulder with the people who build, heal and teach our communities. I entered law believing it would be a powerful tool to protect rights, to challenge injustice, to open doors otherwise closed. Over the years, often in tough environments, I've come to understand the law is not a static set of rules, but as a living system that must serve everyone, not just the powerful. When I first started out as an article clerk, I knew very little. And on some days, I'm fairly sure Mark Monty de Curloy thought I knew even less. Mark was my boss, mentor, and taught me the foundations of the law. But more than that, he taught me how to run a legal business, be organised, disciplined, and obsessed with the details. Sometimes he broke you down, sometimes so you could be built back up stronger. And let's just say the breaking down part was very, very thorough. But the lessons stuck. About resilience, about backing yourself when things get tough. I lean on those lessons every day. The profession taught me careful judgment, true advocacy, not speaking louder but speaking with purpose, especially for those who struggle to be heard. I'm proud of my time as a lawyer at the CFMU in WA and at Eureka Lawyers. Proud to have fought every day, quietly and fiercely, for safer, fairer outcomes for workers. I had the privilege to advocate for reforms in areas like industrial manslaughter and worker health and safety, subcontractor protections, procurement practices and workers' compensation. I've represented workers across almost every court jurisdiction, setting precedents that now benefit workers across our economy. Thank you to Mick Buchan and Alex Illich for letting me be part of that fight. Because when working people win, we all win. Justice, dignity and fairness aren't delivered by accident. They're built, fiercely defended and then passed forward. Community legal centres like Midland, right in the heart of Midland, are on the front lines of that work. They make justice real, accessible, human. That's the kind of work I'll always stand up for. Recently, I met a woman at a community pantry in Midvale, someone rebuilding her life after homelessness, domestic violence and addiction. She was being forced to choose between finding a home and putting down her 2 loyal dogs. No one should ever have to make that choice. Her story stayed with me, it cost me sleep, and it steeled my resolve that we must continue to do more, and we will. Midland is not just a suburb or an electorate. It's a story of workers, of families, of resilience. Each suburb within the electorate has a unique story that embodies the spirit of hard work and community building that we hold dear. Midland itself is at the heart of the electorate, with its rich history and heritage tied to the Midland Railway workshops. For over 100 years, these workshops were the backbone of the local economy, employing generations of tradespeople, apprentices and families. Labour values are literally built into the bricks. It was a place where skill and solidarity met and where unions played a central role in building a fairer workplace. That legacy still lives in the people who call Midland home. Midland Township is also a vital hub for small businesses, serving not only the local community, but also extending out to the Avon Valley and the Perth Hills. It needs strong support to continue to grow and thrive. Guildford is a place where my wife and I lived for many years, where we chose to raise our family. It is one of our oldest settlements, carries deep historical significance, not just for this electorate, but for Western Australia as a whole. Established in 1829, it is one of the 3 towns originally planned during the founding of the Swan River Colony. Guildford is also home to some of the most passionate and active campaigners in our electorate. Residents who care deeply about their community, who fight to protect its heritage and who are never afraid to stand up for what they believe in. Its colonial architecture, historic churches and civic buildings reflect the early aspirations of a young colony. But it is also a place laid with deeper history, Indigenous history of the Noongar people, who walked this land long before colonisation. The town's past reminds us of the need to reconcile those stories and to honour both the resilience of First Nations culture and the legacy of civic progress. Woodbridge is one of the hidden gems of the Midland electorate, small in size but rich in history. Once part of the early colonial settlements around Guildford, Woodbridge today is a suburb that blends the old and the new, historic homes, beautiful parks and close connection to the Swan River. It's home to some of the oldest institutions, like Woodbridge House, and serves as a gateway between Midland's bustling centre and the quiet beauty of the Swan Valley. Stratton was designed to give working families a foot in the property ladder. Stratton is currently experiencing urban renewal and significant urban development. It stands today as a testament to the idea that where you live shouldn't determine the opportunities your children have. Swanview and Greenmount, where families took root and neighbours became lifelong friends, were strengthened by WA Labor's investment in local schools and community centres. Middle Swan is a vital part of the Midland electorate, a place where urban life meets rural tradition and where the history of the Swan Valley is alive in every vineyard, paddock and community hall. It is a suburb built on hard work, on families committed to the land and on a spirit of perseverance and pride. Bellevue has always been one of the beating hearts of the Midland electorate, an area built by working people, shaped by industry and sustained by a strong, proud community. Its history is closely tied to Midland's industrial story, from the days of the workshops to the small businesses and manufacturers who have kept the area moving forward. Bellevue stands as a reminder of the value of hard work, community spirit and resilience in the face of change. As we plan for Midland's future, Bellevue's story reminds us that strong communities are built not just by investment in infrastructure, but by investment in people, and by respecting the history and identity that makes suburbs like Bellevue special. Midvale has long been a contributor to the local economy and a hub of community life, supported by WA Labor's commitment to services, transport and safety. Jane Brook, Coongamaya and Helena Valley are fast-growing suburbs. Deputy Speaker, may I have an extension?
Extension granted.
Thank you. Jane Brook, Coongamaya and Helena Valley, our fast-growing suburbs represent opportunity, but they also require careful planning to ensure that growth is matched by services, transport and sustainability. Boyer is one of the true hidden treasures of the Midland electorate, perched in the hills, surrounded by native bushland and shaped by a strong and resilient community. With its natural beauty, winding roads and close-knit neighbourhoods, Boyer reminds us of the importance of protecting the environment that makes this region so special. It's a place where community spirit runs deep, where people know their neighbours, look out for each other and value the peaceful, natural setting they call home. Vivash is one of the quiet achievers of the Midland electorate, a peaceful, welcoming community tucked along the banks of the Swan River. With its tree-lined streets, parks and strong sense of neighbourliness, Vivash offers a reminder that not every great community is built on noise and bustle. It's a place where families have built lives over generations, where open space still matters and where the connection to nature remains part of daily life. Vivash shows us the importance of protecting green spaces, of ensuring that development is thoughtful and valuing the quieter corners of our electorate that contribute so much to our shared quality of life. Caversham, with its rich agricultural history, is another suburb that reflects the story of our region. Once known primarily for vineyards, market gardens and farming, today is evolving. With new developments bringing many new Western Australians to the area, it stands as a place where tradition and new opportunity meet, where the spirit of hard work continues and where new communities are building their lives and futures. Each of these suburbs tells a different story, but all share a common thread: the belief that a better future can be built together. Midland suburbs are more than just postcodes. They are places where people are proud to raise families, build lives, while incredibly diverse. They are rich in social infrastructure. It's the sporting clubs like Swan United FC, Bin Our Futures, the Midvale Junior Football Club, led by amazing volunteers, community centres like the Swan City Youth Service, and clubs like the Swan Italian Club, the Polish Sikorsky Club, and the Bellevue RSL. The libraries, and it's the civic centres. It's the not-for-profits that lift people up when they fall. Ours is a community that steps up when needed, not steps back. Compassion isn't an afterthought, it's the lifeblood. And Labor has been part of Midland's history. We have been the achievers, building schools, health campuses, and transport links. Labor built Midland's TAFE, which is now free, transformed the workshops into a health campus with massive direct investment in the Midland Hospital in train. We are delivering Metronet because infrastructure isn't about concrete. It's about connection, it's about opportunity, and it's about dignity. As John Curtin once said, accepting a role he never sought nor expected, I have no great sense of personal ambition. The Labor movement has given me much, and I have given it the best of which I am capable. Yet I feel indeed its debtor. That's exactly how I feel today. Grateful, humbled, and ready. The electorate of Midland is changing fast, and change brings challenges. I know there are lots of families in my community doing it tough. Many are finding secure, affordable housing hard to find. Community services feel under pressure. We need quality public transport, investment in local infrastructure, and real practical support. We need to fully fund our schools, tackle family violence urgently, not someday, deliver mental health services where people need them, and have an honest conversation about the lingering impacts of colonisation in our hospitals, schools, prisons and homes. And reconciliation can't be a word we whisper once a year. It must be action every day. Because here's the thing, there is immense opportunity in Midland. WA Labor gets it, and that's why we've revived railcar manufacturing in Bellevue. That's why we're investing in sporting infrastructure by investing in Bin Our Futures for a new basketball hub. And that's why we are building affordable homes and accommodation across the electorate of Midland. But we're not done yet. I want to see the electorate of Midland rise as a hub of innovation, industry and secure jobs, to be part of the Made in WA revolution. The Workshops precinct isn't just a relic shut down under a Liberal government. It's our future, blending history, innovation and economic strength. Midland is already becoming a thriving strategic hub for health, education and services. We must continue to build on this. And my vision is simple. A Midland where every person has the chance to thrive. Affordable homes, secure jobs, world-class education, respect for seniors and people with disability, not as an afterthought but as a priority. And we're not building Midland for developers. We're building it for workers, for families and communities. Here's what I will fight for every single day as a member for Midland. Access to affordable housing, better infrastructure, connectivity, planning and public transport, health services and family support that meet people where they are, apprenticeships, skills training and local jobs, protected bushland and waterways, policies rooted in fairness, dignity and inclusion, no exceptions. And above all, I will show up, I will listen and I will act. And I will believe with an unshakable belief that tomorrow can be better than today if we build it together. So, with great humility, I accept this role and I pledge to honour the love, sacrifice and hard work that made this moment possible. And when I need reminding of what persistence looks like, I think of my grandfather, the stonemason, and the Stonecutter's Creed. When nothing seems to help, I go and look at a stonecutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times, without as much as a crack showing in it. Yet, at the 101st blow, it will split in two. And I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone before. We are the stonecutters. This is our time. Let's get to work. We are the achievers. Thank you.
Oh, much better now. That was great. Thank you very much.